The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What is going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacey Cole Morgan, and you are listening to the Morgan Man Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Google Podcasts, GoodPod HQ, or wherever you find your preferred podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a little bit of Call of Duty League news, and I want to go over with you guys and my thoughts and reactions to the Atlanta Falcons 2023 draft class. So without any further delay, let's go get straight into today's action. Alright guys, so to kick things off, we always talk with news, and that is starting with the Call of Duty League. So the news is stating right now, for next season, Florida Mutineers are expected to join forces with Spanish organization at Team Heretics, and will rebrand to Miami Heretics. Though still early, the rumor roster is currently Vickle, Journey, Lucky, Metals, and Eric Boom. This is of course on Twitter via at Jake Hill plus at The Rotation. Guys, definitely this is a great move right here, but at the same time, you're just kind of rebranding your Florida Mutineers team as now the Miami Heretics, and that's not really helping this organization out, the Call of Duty League as a whole, because we need more teams instead of just this 12 team picture that we got right now. We need to at least be at 16. I mean, yes, this is a good rebranding for the Florida Mutineers and the Heretics, but I mean, come on, you gotta do better than this, the Call of Duty League. You gotta lower that initial payout that teams has to pay. I think it was like $12 million per slot. Lower that down, because that's going to attract more teams to come in, like an E United, Splice, Envy, just whoever. I'm just naming off, organizations, which I know Envy is a part of Optic Gaming now. Just examples like that, but this right here is just rumored as of right now for the starting lineup, but it is fact that the Florida Mutineers will now be called the Miami Heretics because of the Spanish organization. The Heretics will be joining forces. So that was the little bit of news right there I had for you guys in the Call of Duty League world. We're kind of in a slow period right now during this off time going into the Major 5 tournament. And guys, let me tell you, it's coming down to the wire now, finally, that a lot of teams need to get their act together in order to start winning some games and get into the COD Champs playoffs. But during that time, why don't a lot of these pros go play some golf? And not just play any type of golf, but have the best golfing experience possible with Marlboro's Golf polo t-shirts. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today's episode is sponsored by Marlboro's Golf. Well, I want to look good on the golf course, but it often comes at the expense of feeling good. Marlboro's Golf has polos that look good, feel good. With their lightweight and stretchy material that hugs your body, you will feel cool while looking just as cool. Their polos are guaranteed to make you look better, but it's up to you to golf better. On a hot summer day on the golf course, there's no polo that you would rather wear than Marlboro's Golf signature polos. Marlboro's Golf has a large catalog of polos with designs for those who want a loud design and others for those that want a subtle and sleek looking design. They also have fun t-shirts, hats, tumblers, and so much more to make your golfing experience better. Today, use code BELLYUP at Marlboro's for 15% off. That's marlboros.com, MAHLERBROS.com for 15% off. Don't wait to try out the new favorite golf apparel. Upgrade your golf attire with Marlboros. Get 15% off at marlboros.com with code BELLYUP. That's 15% off at marlboros.com with code BELLYUP. Turn heads on the golf course wherever you wear Marlboro's polos. Marlboro's Golf. Look good, feel good, play good. Alright guys, so we are now getting into the meat of the podcast right here. I know we are going a little bit short today, but that's just absolutely fine right here. But we're going to take most of this time up now with the Atlanta Falcons 2023 draft class. So the Atlanta Falcons definitely had a great draft this year. Definitely it was a shocker in round 1 and round 2. But overall, this has been an absolute banger of a draft class for the Atlanta Falcons. And this team looks like they're ready to succeed this year. I'm not going to say like go undefeated, but have a winning season for the first time since 2017 and make the playoffs. So this is the draft class right here. Round 1, pick 8, you got Bijan Robertson, running back, Texas. Now, I had a week to really digest this. When I was on the Belly Up Sports Media live stream on draft night and they picked Bijan Robertson, I'm like, what in the hell is the Atlanta Falcons doing selecting a running back? And, I was part of the, we need to draft defense, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith kind of crowd. I was a part of that, so I will raise my hand on that. But now since I have a week to really digest this, yes, Tyler Algier is still our starting running back, but you're going to need your Derrick Henry. And Tyler Algier is not your Derrick Henry for the Atlanta Falcons if you are Arthur Smith. So in order to get your Derrick Henry, you need to look into the draft, and that's where Bijan Robertson comes in at. He's got the physical style like Derrick Henry. He will just run all over you pretty much. Like Derrick Henry, he will get you some explosive yards, like the 50, 60, 40, whatever kind of yard plays in order to get you that first down or a touchdown on like 1st and 10 or 2nd and 5, whatever the case may be. Because Lord knows now the Atlanta Falcons are a run-heavy team. Does this dramatically improve the Atlanta Falcons? Slightly. Not dramatically, but just slightly. Improves the Atlanta Falcons on offense. Yes, we still need some wide receivers because we have not selected a wide receiver, none in this draft. But we did pick up a few during free agency, so that is good, like Scotty Miller from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Round 2, pick 38, Matthew Bergeron, offensive tackle, Syracuse. Now, everybody knows we definitely need some offensive line help, and that's where the Falcons definitely address that issue. Matthew Bergeron definitely is a great player. I haven't seen really much of his tape, but from what the media outlets are saying that, Matthew Bergeron is definitely a great pick and definitely is going to be going on that left side of the offensive line. Round 3, pick 75, Zach Harrison, edge, Ohio State. So finally, the Falcons are picking defense. And this was really one of the best players available for the edge position outside of course, Nolan Smith and, Jalen Carter. And, Will Anderson Jr., but, they all went in the first round. But Zach Harrison, Ohio State, definitely from what I've seen in that Michigan game and the Georgia Bulldogs game, great guy. He could get to the quarterback quick, and he could catch that offensive line off guard at any given moment with his hands and his speedy quickness. So I do like this pickup right here for the Atlanta Falcons. It will take some time with Zach Harrison to be really coached up, but with Ryan Nielsen as our defensive coordinator, I believe he can do that perfectly. Round 4, pick 113. This is from the Tennessee Titans trade. Clark Phillips III, cornerback, Utah. Definitely we needed a cornerback in this year's draft. Or just overall we needed a cornerback, and this is definitely going to solidify that secondary now because Clark Phillips, haven't seen really much tape from him, but of course from what everybody is saying on Facebook and Twitter that do know about him, this is a great guy to complement with AJ Terrell in that secondary and, get you a lot of interceptions or, deflected balls. Round 7, pick 224, DeMarco Helms, safety, Alabama. So again, we're adding to that secondary, ladies and gentlemen. So DeMarco Helms, Alabama, great pick. Alabama has got a really great defense, Not like Georgia's defense, where it's top of the nation for 2 years straight, but it is a great defense that is going to hold you back from scoring a lot of points on your opposing offense. And getting a safety from Alabama, that's definitely great. Round 7, pick 225 from the Las Vegas Raiders. This is Jonathan Gwynn, if I'm pronouncing that right, guard, South Carolina. So definitely, this is your offensive line help yet again that to complement Matthew Bergeron from Syracuse. So this looks like we're really picking at that left side of the offensive line, which, by the way, the offensive line was the top 6 according to PFF last year, and that's why the run game was so successful. And now you're adding very great guys from South Carolina and Syracuse to complement that left side of the offensive line. Hell, this could be a number 1 offensive line in the entire National Football League this year, and that's where Bijan Robertson is definitely going to have a field day with running the ball. Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson, for Pete's sake, because Cordell Patterson, even with a crappy O-line back 2 years ago when Arthur Smith first came to Atlanta, he was still running the ball very great. Now, yes, granted, it was some outside swings, not straight up the middle, but still, it was a great running game from Cordell Patterson 2 years ago with a crappy O-line. So just imagine what's going to happen now with a top 5 O-line for the Atlanta Falcons with an elite running back group now. I mean, I'm talking about elite because Bijan Harrison is projected to be Offensive Rookie of the Year already. He's a minus 110 betting favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. So, hey, that's credits going to the Atlanta Falcons right there. So overall, I give this grade for the 2023 draft class really an A. Not no A minus, not no A plus, just an A. I think they solidified a lot of great picks. Bijan Harrison definitely was a great pick. Now looking back at it, because he can help out not just only in the run game, but when it comes to blocking as well. You're getting that extra offensive line, the extra offensive lineman in that situation to help protect Desmond Ridder when throwing the ball, because now Desmond Ridder is completely set up to succeed. And I think he will. You give him the perfect situation going into this year. Great offensive line, great running game, some solid receivers, wide receivers to pick up at, tight end, of course, Kyle Pitts. You got a great defense that's going to really get at the quarterback and get you some interceptions or whatever the case may be. So this is Desmond Ridder's job to lose. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's going to succeed. And the other day I was listening to Colin Cowherd, and he said, you're going to know by Thanksgiving whether or not Desmond Ridder is going to be your guy. And Colin disagrees, saying that we don't have our guy in Desmond Ridder. But I will go up against the offense right here and say that Desmond Ridder, by Thanksgiving, I know is going to be our guy. He's going to succeed. He's going to be able to understand the situations ahead of him. Hell, he improved within all 4 last games last season. First one, expected to not be really great. Second game against the Baltimore Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, you have a okay game, still not great. Third game, Arizona Cardinals visit the Atlanta Falcons. You really improved. You scored a running touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. But still, you improved. You had some wide open receivers. And you really took it up a notch. And then the final 4th game, Tom Brady's led Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You beat them. And you score 2 offensive passing touchdowns, which is amazing. And you have not thrown a single pick yet. Granted, yes, it was the last 4 games, but still though, no picks, touchdowns, running yards, wide open receivers that you are now spotting, and you manage to clock a little bit better each and every single game, and that's what counts. So now going into the season, we're expecting you now to really play like a Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, whatever. Not saying you're going to be like at the star level just right now, but kind of play with them, kind of get that IQ set early, because you need to get it set early in order for us to win some games and make it to the playoffs this year. But guys, that is all the time I have for today's episode. I sure hope you did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you find your preferred podcast. Make sure to give me a 5-star rating on Spotify. It does help out the podcast tremendously. Check me out on YouTube with Morgan Man Sports under the podcast section. You can find me there. And of course, guys, also make sure you check out my latest podcast planners here on Amazon. I got the first edition of the podcast planner notebook, second one with some tips and tricks, and finally now I've just recently released my gaming notebook planner, where you can write down all your achievements from Call of Duty, Halo, whatever game that you currently play right now. Write down your achievements, some cheat codes, whatever it is. I'll have all that linked down in the description below for you guys to check that out. But until then, good morning. Catch you all later. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.